Heart of Oak is brought to you by Timberland Pro, Marvin Windows and Doors, Midcape and AZEC Trim,
and these valued partners. PJ and I first started this, it was just the two of us.
It's our first built-in bunk bed.
Yep.
And I want to keep doing them. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I was really nervous that the kitchen was going to be too small. I never told you that.
I know. Now that the cabinets are in, it feels bigger.
The first house I ever did, I did mostly everything. It was grueling. I worked nonstop for 9 months, 7 days a week between both jobs. And I quickly realized when I started my new one that I couldn't do it again. That's when, as a small business owner, you have that frightening moment where you hire someone. As you start to grow, then you hire more people. Tom came to us bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. He came into an open house, and it turned out he worked for the local building association. He just came in asking the right questions and seemed like a bright guy.
I grew up in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, notorious for the Amish country, and my dad was a developer, and ever since visiting that first project with him, I can still remember it to this day, I fell in love with construction and made my way up to New England, went to college up here. Once I graduated college, I had the opportunity to either move back home and work with my dad and grow that business, or create something new for myself up here.
We're looking for someone to help. Sometimes you just get that gut feeling that that's the right guy for the job.
And he said, "Do you want a job?" Just like that. "Do you want a job? Why don't you interview today? What are you doing later today?" About 4 hours later, I was sitting on the back porch at Oak headquarters drinking beers, working for Oak. So when I came to Oak, PJ ultimately told me, "I got to test you. I'm going to start you off as assistant project manager, and sky's the limit, but I want to see performance out of you." So I knew the bar was set high from day one, but it was a bar that I was willing to chase. It ultimately was a risk for me to give up my life in the city and come down to the South Shore and try to recreate a new career for myself.
We do have brand recognition. So when we hire new people and we want them to be able to also understand what that Oak aesthetic is, it's a little nerve-wracking at first because you want to make sure everybody that's working for us now really understands that and really understands what we're looking for.
Tom's done a great job of seeing the momentum and seeing the ability to take this and run with it. And he's doing that, and he's executing. And so the more he executes, the more I trust him and the more I want to give him more responsibility. So to have guys like Tom to help me run the vision, the better I can then continue to build the vision.
Tom has been a great addition to our team.
He will never say no. He never shies away from a challenge. And Tom's proving to me that he has a lot in him to be a real project manager.
There's a lot of parallels and commonalities with being an assistant project manager and then just an overall project manager. But when it boils down to it, the project manager owns the job. He's responsible for reaching out to subs, scheduling, budgeting, making sure that the project's on timeline, making sure we're hitting the numbers right. Everything that PJ does in the background to set the job up, the project manager is responsible for executing. So if something great happens, you're responsible. If something bad happens, you're responsible. About 95% of the trim's installed upstairs. I think we just have the master bedroom left.
So when we did our first Wampatuck house, we kind of set a certain bar and we put a stake in the ground that this is who Oak is and this is what we do. This client was walking by or driving by every day because he lived on the same road right down the street. So now that Tom was up and running, we realized we got to throw something major at him. So now we're turning it over to Tom, and not only does he have to do it on budget and on time, I need him to execute it at the same level that we executed the first one. It was definitely a challenging build to begin with, and I won't lie, I was a little worried about the end product.
I think that some of the biggest challenges that a new project manager would have coming to work for us is the speed at which we work and the pace that we expect from all of our employees and from ourselves.
All right, here it is, Tom. Let's take the race car and get it to the finish line and hope you don't crash it. If he pulls off the timeline and keeps doing what he's doing at Wampatuck, we'll promote him to be an official full-on project manager.
Honestly, every job you go to, there's growing pains. And he could have brought somebody else in, but I think ultimately PJ wanted to test me. And that's why he gave me that project as an assistant project manager who was basically taking on the role of a project manager, but I had to prove myself. It's not only proving myself to PJ, but now I'm proving myself to the clients that I am more than capable of seeing your project through and building you a beautiful house that your family will enjoy for years to come. From the moment and day I met these clients at Wampatuck and told them that I was gonna be their main point of contact going forward, I could see a little bit of the fear in their eyes. I mean, I'm a young guy, somebody they haven't met before.
Yeah, it's a small kitchen. I was hoping we might be able to take from some of the slab to do it.
So this is a really multifaceted business. It is a balancing act.
Mike asked for sheets to do the underside of the garage, but that's probably...
Is there a reason we went with thick sheets like that?
He requested 3/4.
All right, moving forward, we don't use 3/4. It's
All half.
Do you know how expensive that one sheet is?
When I look at PJ and Tom working together, I see PJ talking to himself from like 15 years ago. So they're very similar in the way that I think they execute. I think that they're both extremely driven. I think that Tom is someone who knows what he wants and is willing to put the work in to get there.
Why don't you just take this and just retrofit this
Yeah, I might
part?
be able to cut this top piece off.
But he's young, and it's something that takes a little bit of time to learn.
How are we gonna get up the staircase with that?
That's a good question.
Did they ask about it staying within budget?
They did.
I mean,
I
I
think
think it's more a
originally-
matter of like what's gonna look good.
My environment is about taking risks, but then also trusting my employees and them feeling confident to make decisions.
This is the one that I was more concerned about with the steel beam, but if we do the same thing, you're gonna have a brace coming basically from this handrail, and you have another handrail dying into the wall. So now that we need one more baluster per step to meet code requirements, I'm gonna have to special order some new ones in, and then I'll go take a few from another job site I have at the moment. And you need a timeline to follow so that you can hit a target date for your client. Everybody has their own mojo, their way of doing things, and mine just happens to be very systematic and detail-oriented.
Tom actually had the great idea of streamlining our design process to the project management process by putting together these sheets that he created that incorporated a QR code.
So I've built out custom spreadsheets that timeline the job, that have all the selections for the job, with QR codes on every building plan for every room throughout the house with all the selections on them. When they scan that, the entire playbook for the build is right there in front of them. So it has the cabinets, the countertops, the hardware, the color, the grout color, the tile going up, the flooring, the pattern of the tile, the pattern, everything. It's the playbook.
Tom is bringing this new angle of technology that's not only like helpful, but we're actually using it, and our subcontractors are using it, even the old school ones.
Every job I've ever had, I treat it as if I am part of that company, or as if, I'm building that company for myself as well.
I'm pushing everybody a little bit past their comfort zone, because that's how I learned. I didn't learn by being comfortable. I don't care. I just want it off the driveway. Stuff is the worst. It's so heavy.
Yeah, that's why I stay away from it.
Tough love is part of our business, right? Like, I grew up in the school of hard knocks. I never got patted on the back. There's a little bit of that still left in me. I think I'm much more compassionate about teaching and helping people grow as individuals and employees now than, say, some of the people that taught me. So now flip it around, it goes the other way. There you go. So now that goes in. Perfect.
Like that.
This goes back in. But there's also timelines to hit, and expectations from clients, and budgets to hit, and payroll to pay. There's still a business. This isn't our hobby.
Painting's happening Monday, and we're dropping all the trim, the doors, everything's landing almost on the same day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, right now the floors are out, still another week.
Yeah.
Tile's out a week, so if we
Did you
have
get
it.
the template done yet?
Templating's happening this coming week.
Yeah, so I mean, that alone is worth doing it. Otherwise, delays.
And with the global pandemic, we've seen a lot of changes. Material increases, timelines are getting extended, deliveries are getting extended weeks to months. And then the town's doing road work right in front of the project.
Please tell me they didn't rip up the driveway.
We got open roads cut, we got pipes getting laid, one day it's water,
I didn't realize how bad the pitch was in here.
the next day it's gas getting cut in. So I have limited access to the project, roads are shut down. Where are we gonna park? I'm dealing with all these material delays, and I mean, I think garage doors went from 16 weeks to 30 weeks out. And labor shortages, new subcontractors, new timelines. Like, it was a never-ending challenge.
Yes, I get frustrated and mad and can fly off the handle.
It doesn't happen often, but when it does, you need to find shelter.
I mean, I get that you just arrived, Tom, but it's 9:17. Most everybody's on site by 7. And I've been talking about the basement getting cleaned out for a week. The garage is still not cleaned out. All this stuff is, you've moved this stuff twice.
What's this? Why is it dirty?
Like, let's just get it out of here. I don't understand why we keep moving everything around. Just load it on a truck and get it gone.
And it's just like the whole mood dropped.
I don't want to hear about the site conditions right now. These guys weren't here yesterday, okay? You had trucks here and you chose to move that and not get it out of here when you know it needs to go.
Like, it's like temperature got 10 degrees hotter. It became a cloudy day out.
You walk through the house and like when a customer comes through here over the weekend, it looks like a bomb went off. And that's just bad. That's just bad. That's not what I try to portray now. But there are times when, you know, I'm under a lot of pressure in many ways that people don't realize, and I boil over. Not necessarily all of my proudest moments, but we've got a business to run. I gotta get in a better mood, man. I'm in a bad mood. Then I hit so many roadblocks right out of the gate this morning. I was like, just frustrated. And you know, sometimes people think I'm mad at them, but I'm not mad at them. I'm more mad at myself and annoyed that I'm not managing this situation better. But I feel like we're making some forward progress now.
You're back, huh?
Three stores. Everyone said they had one in stock, and we finally found one that actually had one in stock.
And, you know, I don't blame the guy, though. He's got a lot going on. He's got banks knocking on his door. He's asking, you know, people asking for payments. He's got other subs. He's got investors. And at the same time, he's trying to run a business and find new opportunities for us. So you can see why the stress levels are high on him sometimes when the top blows off.
Get back to work. Tom has taken the brunt of that a couple times, probably more than I would like to admit. But I think I also do a good job of reeling it in and telling him, you're doing a great job. Basically, these window packs are just gonna make everybody's life easier. Because if we pre-cut all the window packs, put them by the windows and doors, then the guys don't have to rifle through the pile, right?
Yeah.
So it'll take us a couple hours just to cut all these out.
And on top of that, you know, we're minimizing waste.
I'm in a little bit of a better mood.
You got a brand new toy. Of course you're happy. You need Dennis's glasses.
I'll be happier when we close some houses. Then I'll be happy again.
People ask me, what is the toughest part of the build? And throughout the build, you think putting the pieces together, the puzzle, are the hardest part. But in all reality, and PJ will tell you himself, it's getting the CO and getting the clients in. You need one of those no matter what build you're doing to get your clients into the house and make it a safe place to live. So basically what goes into a CO is all the inspections need to be done. So basically it's just a giant packet of information that we as a team need to compile to allow the homeowners to move into that house. No time to lose. I mean, CO's coming up in like a week and a half.
So are you putting the clips in?
So how does it actually go in? I thought we line them all up first, or?
This one, we can use this spacer here to
Yeah.
kind of get our distance. So go ahead and throw that in.
This one up.
And then this,
And just throw them right on like that.
yeah, you just slip them in so they're ready to go. Tighten it down. And then this is gonna hold all this nice and tight, right? So now what I would do is take that, put it on the other end.
Yep.
That's it. We'll do
That
one.
easy, huh?
Yep, just go right down the line. And that's it, I've been here 5 minutes. I mean, imagine like a 20-foot long or 30-foot long run, 10 feet wide. You could get 4 or 5 clamps going, 2 of these going, and you could do a whole deck in like an hour. It's insane how fast this thing is. Keep crushing it, try to get to the finish line here.
We're at crunch time here. We're at D-Day, and we have about 3 days to get the clients into the upstairs. Boom. We need to get this house done. Let's get all the guys in there at once. We got the painters in there, we got the plumbers in there, electricians. We're all reaching that common goal, which is final sign-off. And final sign-off means payment. We are in code red. everybody on the site. We needed to get those homeowners in on time and score that touchdown.
We let a client move in earlier than we would like, and when the house isn't quite done, it just slows the process down once they're there.
Waves of cars were coming in, vans. We parked that street out all the way up the block. And people thought we were throwing a graduation party, I think. But no, we were finishing the job on time.
You know, in the end, this was the project where Tom, I think, still had the training wheels on a little bit.
Finishing that house up was the first house I finished as an assistant project manager. It was a heavy task to take on from day one, but by the end of it, it felt natural.
Just
Tell me if there's
stand
some-
in the shower and
tell
tell
me
me
if
if
there's
there's
something wrong
anything
here.
that looks weird
Look
to you.
closely at this.
Yeah, went right through it, didn't it?
Go look close. You tell me.
Totally got it.
Wow.
Take a shower. Oh, that's karma. That's karma.
That was pretty funny, right? This house came out really, really amazing, and Tom is really good at getting something to the finish line. He had a great relationship with the clients at this house, and I know that he really wanted to meet their expectations, both with how it was finished and when it was finished. Wampatuck was a really cool project for us because we took a home that went from being very tight, small square footage living to making it multi-leveled and much larger.
We got a great master suite upstairs. We were able to kind of separate the two areas of the house so that the parents had their office upstairs. We created a sanctuary for them to work and live in every day while their kids were coming and going on the first floor. So I think it was really special to help them achieve the goal of not only maximizing their lifestyle, maximize their investment, but then also, you know, obtain things that they didn't have before, such as a view of Boston from the back deck.
You can see it.
You can see Boston, yeah.
See, there's like the Prue.
Yep, John Hancock.
That's crazy.
When I asked Tom to meet, he's probably gonna be nervous, like, you know, it's like when you get a report card in high school. But I think it'll be fun to sit down with him and go over that stuff and then surprise him with some new business cards. So we're at Locales today. Locales is a new restaurant. Our good friend Brian, who owns Seabird down in Cohasset, started it a couple months ago. And it's been a huge success in town. And what I love about it is it's simple. It's margaritas and tacos. All right, man, Wampatuck is wrapped up.
Finally, all hands on deck on that one.
Dude, what a finish. Oh man, what do we got?
Gentlemen, tacos. All right, so
Ooh,
we've got
sick.
crispy carne asada tacos
Tim?
for you, senor. And we've got the grilled fish tacos for you.
Awesome, thank you very much. It was a race to the finish, but got them in. And they're happy, which is the good thing.
Most important thing, part of the meal right here.
Most important part.
Yes, margaritas.
I mean, the pressure at the end there to get them in. Cheers.
Cheers to a good finish.
It's a very good finish. The pressure to get them in was immense.
From both the clients and the boss. But
Well, we got to
We
get
did it.
paid. But I think you did a great job of picking it up, getting it done, getting through it. It was not an easy job. It was nice because I actually could like put it in the back of my head and not focus on it full time once you got involved. So good job on that. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to bring Tom, have lunch with him, and take a moment to kind of step back, celebrate a success, give him a promotion, give him some new business cards, and we're gonna make him a full-fledged project manager. So we are officially dropping the assistant manager role. The assistant PM role is no longer, as we are now an official project manager.
nice. Awesome, well, thank you very much. I've been able to shed assistant from my name. Now I'm project manager Tom, and I couldn't be happier.
When I started the business, it was just me, literally me and the dog. And then, you know, slowly Lizzie got more involved. Slowly but surely, I started kind of giving up more and more. And that's, as a small business owner, that's like the hardest thing is not only finding the right people, but then trusting them that they're gonna get the job done.
You want to see things through on your own because you have a way of doing things, and to trust in somebody else to get it done the same way, it's a big task.
I think the way that we've designed it moving forward is that I'm gonna be the one that gets the jobs kind of up and running. So I'll get it through the permit phase. I'll get all my permits in place, I'll get the foundation in, I'll get the wood there to frame it, and then I turn it over to Tom. And so moving forward, he's gonna be an integral part of these projects getting from the frame to the finish. You've done a great job, like everything, you know, if you have a question, you ask. As we're going through things, if mistakes happen, you learn from it, you move on.
So I wanted some mentorship. I didn't just want to be another name on the payroll. I wanted to be a guy that learned from him how to do it right and how to build cool stuff.
Like there's nothing else you can ask as a business owner, is as somebody's constantly, A, looking for more responsibility, but then actually doing it and doing it well. And, you know, so Lizzy and I appreciate everything you do.
Obviously, he's my superior, he's my boss, he's the owner of this business, but I truly feel like he's a friend. I'm the only one in the family that's gone this pathway into construction and real estate. Even though I don't get to work hands-on with my dad back home in Pennsylvania, being able to watch him see me grow and do what he did from an early age is just as rewarding. Honestly, all I ever really wanted to do was make him proud, so I definitely hold it near and dear to my heart that I'm doing what he loves, and now I love doing it. I'm actually about to get teary-eyed.